Okay, I don't see how to get to those. I'll just have to comment on what y'all are saying.
Yeah, so that's basically how I do it, Greg. That's basically how I do it too.
No.
Greg, I'll shoot you this on Twitter.
Okay.
Okay, let me tweet the link real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still see me, Nathan?
No.
No? Okay. You said yes, Nathan?
No.
Oh, okay. So when I look at the article, it takes me off the...
Yes.
Okay.
But it's
I can
okay.
pull
Y'all
it
can
up
still
and
hear
then...
me. Well, y'all can still hear me, so it doesn't really matter.
Now I can see you.
Yeah.
Hello, if you're watching us now. I have paint swatches behind me. I'm painting.
Are we live?
Yes.
I think so.
Oh, nice.
I'm just being quiet until I'm told what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rule I'm following here, too. So my power's been out all day, but the mountains are still blue, so they're drinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got my yearly my yearly congested cold that I get every year around this time, but in my own head I'm like, oh man.
Me too.
And I knew it was coming the whole time, so it's just...
Yeah, my sinuses are real bad this time of year. Season change.
Yeah.
So.
Mine too.
Okay. So the plan is we hit High Republic and the Thrawn news, commercial break. And yes, I'm going through this live, but whatever.
Seeing how the sausage is made.
And then podcast magic, y'all. Yay. So High Republic, Thrawn news, Greg's first impression on Thrawn, and the Mandalorian season 2 predictions. So I'm going to hit record.
Let's go.
And 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Star Wars Alliance podcast, your home on the Geek Ultimate Alliance podcast network for all things in a galaxy far, far away. I'm one of your hosts, Katie Gilstrap, and with me, as always, is Nathan. Nathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Katie. How are you doing today? It's nice to be back. I haven't really been around here lately. A lot of shit going on in the personal life, but I'm ready to emerge from all the muck and shit to come and jump into a galaxy far, far away.
Star Wars, yay!
The muck and shit. I love it.
And if you see him or hear him, as he just said something, we do have a special guest today, Greg. Greg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Other than the fact that I have no power, so I'm really makeshifting this one on my phone with some headphones on. But like I said, I got no power, but the mountains are still blue on the can, so I can drink those as long as I need to. Hopefully, before it gets
Tony
too dark.
Stark built this podcast in a cave, okay? And
that's right. That's right.
He's in there. He's in there. We're just making it work with what he's got.
Oh, dude, when we first started, Nathan, me and you first started, man, we were bare bones in it.
Bare bones.
Yeah.
I haven't evolved much since then, but whatever, we're making it work.
Oh, I haven't got the podcast with y'all in a while. Either one of y'all, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thank y'all for having me on.
Yes.
I keep leaning to my microphone like I'm talking into my microphone, but I'm not.
This is your one and only chance to impress on Star Wars Alliance. So if you don't make the cut here, we'll be forced to cut you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't need to impress. Thrawn did enough impressing for me in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So.
Hey, you know what? If we can just get you to say that Jordan's the GOAT, you can have a lifetime pass here.
Never gonna happen.
I know 57 will love that. So
I don't want to break his heart and lie to him. Good.
We've got a lot on the plate today. We've got some High Republic news, just some more concept art really to go through. We've got some Thrawn items because we've got Thrawn news actually today of all things. And then Mr. Greg here read his first Thrawn books. So he's going to give a little bit of insight into those. And then we've got some Mandalorian season 2 predictions. But first, before we get into anything else, Nathan, give us the paperwork spiel, please.
Okay, first of all, I like how this has become a running joke that I'm like some kind of sociopathic maniac that I'm like, gotta keep it high and tight. But
we always got you in the mind. That's right.
Right. I love become the running theme. But oh god, no. I mean, we got 47 shows now, so it's kind of hard to remember them all. But let's see. We got on Mondays, which is probably
my power just came back on. Sorry.
Hey, all right.
Yay.
Monday, we got World's Finest True Believers, but I think that's going to be changing or alternating between the new show, Ranger Alliance, and then I know Tuesdays hold strong with Greg Travis as they do DC Alliance, and Wednesday is Chris and Snail Trail, and they're doing Marvel Alliance, and then Thursday is Katie's Day with Slice of Film and the show right here on the opposite.
Well, not anymore. Star Wars is moving to Sundays.
Oh, well, shit. Yeah, god damn it. You're right. I forgot we're actually recording. We're changing
for the next.
I can't remember the whole spiel, Katie. It's just everything's changing.
Well, for the next 8 weeks, Star Wars is going to be moving to every
Mando
week
starting this weekend
on Sundays. Yep. So the audio will drop Sundays. We'll still record the news spiel every other Thursday, which we are live right now doing on said Thursday. But then we'll add the Mandalorian season 2 episode review of the week to the end of it, and then drop the audio on Sunday. So that is the plan right now. And then we might switch back. Haven't talked to management about that yet. But.
Right. Well, then Friday, I know for sure superhero discussions with Greg and Travis again, talking about animated stuff. And Friday nights, you can find Super Civil Service podcast going live at 9 o'clock, whatever Greg's time is, and
9ish, yeah.
and then it can go. The audio drops on Saturday, and also on Saturday and Sunday, it's Weird Comic Science, Marvel, and DC. Where it's like the latest and up to date on the new issues coming out, new arcs coming out. And there's a Patreon account where $1 just kind of helps keep the candles flickering, or it keeps the kerosene lamps filled, or whatever we want to say at this time. And then there's a $5 tier that is it just like that's where you get exclusive ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, like Patreon exclusive. Like the amalgam chats and stuff like that are on there. There's a little bit of content there now for somebody that wants to donate to it. And I think that's about it. I feel kind of rusty, guys. Like I said, I've just had a lot of shit. I ain't been around to record. I ain't been keeping it up. I'm really rusty, so I'm sorry.
Well, I got you, man.
Also, you got to remember too, on Sundays now we have Ranger Alliance podcast, which is going to be your
I didn't remember because I know it's supposed to alternate with Chris because his shit. That's what I'm saying. I don't.
It's confusing. It's confusing how it alternates, but I do know their first episode's this Sunday, so the first.
Right, but I do want to say while we're here, their introduction on Super Civil Service with Greg. I listened to that episode. I wasn't able to make it, but man, like that's it. It was a great episode. Great introduction to the guys. I think they're going to be. They're always usually in the chat stuff. They're going to make a great addition to the team. And in my typical Nathan fashion, I had this rebuttal and remark on the episodes and stuff. So I got Clay's number, and I think he enjoyed that. So I just want to say those guys did a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Well, I think the last thing in the paperwork spiel is that this podcast does have ads. If you're watching live on YouTube, you'll see a bit of podcast magic. I tried to combine those two words together into like project or something. I don't know. But Nathan and I do try and give y'all a warning before we step into it. But just to keep in mind, we don't get to pick who the ads are from, and we don't get to pick how loud the ads are.
Tell me about it. Right. Sorry if you get 14 Biden's gonna save the world fucking ads in a row, because God, I was listening. So I was like, they're literally playing the same ad 3 times in a row. So whatever it is, guys, we don't get to pick. You know what I'm saying? We would at least spread some shit out. But it's whatever comes through. Don't hold it against us. Whether you do think something's gonna do whatever, it's not our fault one way or the other.
No. Hey, I know I'm the guest, but can I throw one more thing on there to add in?
Sure.
I know Mr. Snow wants us to talk about, because I want to talk about too. November 7th. Geekverse Podcast Network is doing a 24-hour live stream charity event for BC Children's Hospital. All proceeds go to them. $1,500 gets Snell's head shaved. $1,750 gets Clayton's head shaved. $2,000 gets my beard and Clayton's beard shaved. And I think Katie said $2,250. She'll shave her eyebrows, but I'm not sure. So That sounds like a yes to me. But check it out. You can
Maybe
donate
they're
anytime.
shaving these eyebrows.
I think we go with Lady Mohawk with Katie. Like we just
There
blow
you
the
go.
sides off. She's one long strip.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
But seriously, y'all check that out. It's going to be really fun. 24-hour live stream. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff in 24 hours. Super Civil Servants are doing a trivia competition with them, which we're going to big victorious. That's all I'll say about that. Actually, talked a lot of trash, but check it out. It's going to be really fun for a great
Dix, I
cause.
noticed my name hasn't been mentioned in anything. I get it. But then again, I know I haven't confirmed if I'm going to
you
make
can't
it or
reply.
not. I know. I know.
No, you gotta actually say something if you're gonna be a part of it.
That's true.
I get it.
Egg him to come back on Twitter. Sorry, I just want to put that out there. Okay.
Twitter.
No, y'all, you're good because that was actually the next thing on my list.
I'm sorry. I stole your
No,
thunder.
because this is the last episode
Greg,
for my
fill that
podcast.
lawnmower up when you're done. Mowing
Do what?
lawn over there, all right? I said if you got to put gas in that mower when you're done, you just mow her lawn.
I tend to do
that. So this is the last podcast. This is the last podcast in the month of October is what I'm calling it. And so I'm donating all proceeds that I make, or proceeds. Everything I make from podcasting this month is going to be donated and matched by me to the Geekverse streaming service or streaming charity event. Words, they're hard.
Word salad.
So, definitely, thanks everyone who's listened. But yeah, so, with that as kind of the last thing, let's get into it. So, High Republic. It was delayed, so it was supposed to come out this year, obviously. Yes. But apparently there's going to be a VR game.
Of what? I did. I
had
this is the first time hearing it. Really?
VR High Republic game, really?
Huh.
Yeah.
What do you have any details or anything? Or
there's actually a trailer and everything. It's
Get
for
the F out of
Oculus
here.
Quest.
Ooh, I've got one of those. Oh, yay.
Okay.
So my question is, do you wield the lightsaber and everything? Because I know there have been VR Star Wars games before, where it looks like you're wielding a lightsaber with the handles and everything, or the hand controls. I'm sure they're going to do something like that here, right?
They better.
Yeah, because if you're going to be in VR in Star Wars and you can't use a lightsaber, I would have to have something actually in my hand, though. I feel. Even playing VR, don't think I could pretend like something was in my hand. I had to have like a golf club in my hand or something.
Yeah,
need to be outside.
Flashlight.
The game's narrative is fans will be, or this is part of the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which is the VR game for Oculus Quest that will allow fans to venture into the world of Batuu from Disney theme parks. By way of the game's narrative, fans can also be transported to other places and times in the Star Wars galaxy when they hear tales from an alien bartender named, excuse me, I didn't watch the trailer, so I totally
nailed it. Nailed it.
Wait. Bartenders are famous in Star Wars.
Yes. So one of the stories.
I've never played a VR game.
Oh, they're amazing.
I don't even know what you do or anything. I've never played one. I don't even know if I really got it. I don't know. I've never done it. I might love it, but nothing really appeals to me right off the bat. I don't know.
Go watch a sporting event live in VR. That's really fun.
Yeah, that might be kind of cool.
It is pretty cool.
Well, for me, VR makes me sick. I actually took a VR class because I did computer science, so I took a VR class and did a whole game in it and everything, and it sucks. So that's my opinion. But I'm glad for fans of VR.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably people that probably really love it. I'd say I don't know if it's necessarily something for me, but I don't know. Maybe if I tried it, maybe I'd fall in love with it.
There are certain things that are really cool about it. I know, I like watching Netflix in VR because the setting it puts you in is like a movie theater, or you can be in like a home or whatever. But it like if you put it in the movie theater, it feels like you're sitting in a movie theater, like you have the distance and everything from your from your what you're watching. It's pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't blame people. It's just like my brain does not like it. It's like I don't know where my hands are. I don't know where anything is.
Where are my hands?
So Frank Oz is actually returning as Yoda in this instance.
Awesome.
The part of the VR experience for the High Republic is a 15-minute story that finds players controlling Adi Zunzi, a Jedi Padawan studying at a remote Jedi research facility on Batuu.
Great
a mysterious relic.
Sorry. God, I'm holding my phone. My camera's at. I'm actually, hey, give me 1 second. I got my computer up. Let me hang up and come back on my computer. I'll be right back. Y'all keep going.
Go ahead.
So a mysterious relic unleashes a torrent of evil inside the temple, and Adi is the sole survivor. After sending an urgent distress signal to the Jedi Council, she must work alongside Jedi Master Yoda to confront the darkness that now lurks within the temple walls and within herself. So that's really about it. There was a couple comments. I'm pulling from the Slash Film article on it, but it looks pretty cool from the screenshots I've seen and everything. So that should be a great opportunity for people to not only get to experience Galaxy's Edge, but then also get to experience some stories from the High Republic. So.
And a new Jedi too, obviously. So yeah, like you said, new Jedi, new time frame, so new story. Yeah, that's like I said, I don't have a VR or even know where I would go to do a VR experience thing. But I mean that's cool for people that you know what I mean, who like that kind of thing. But I'm not sure this is necessarily geared towards myself. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the cut scenes on YouTube or whatever. You know.
Cutscene. Speaking of which, I need to watch the Star Wars Squadron ones.
Yeah, I saw some of them. I didn't get a chance. I glanced at them for I got to watch a minute of one, and I was like, oh man, I need to dive in further, but I didn't have time at the time. And then I forgot about them. To be honest with you, I'm ashamed.
Well, so that's that one. The only other thing High Republic really is that I can't remember if we talked about this the last episode. I'm so bad with this. I need to take better notes. But obviously, there was a couple publishing panels that the High Republic authors were a part of. Cavan Scott is writing the next young adult book in the series.
I think we did talk about that.
We did talk about it?
Yes.
Okay. But we've gotten a lot of cool concept art. We've gotten some cool concept art on Yoda, a couple dogs, or dragon
space
dogs. Yeah, space dogs.
Are they like the ones that Imbo has in Clone Wars? Is it like one of them dogs? You remember Imbo, the one with the big shield hat that he wore, kind of thing, the assassin in Clone Wars?
I think I know who you're talking about, and I don't.
One of Filoni's one of his favorite assassins he kept there, and then by season 5, he had the little dragon dog looking thing. I didn't get a chance to see these guys. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm a failure as a host. I know if you guys want to, come for me with the pitchforks and stuff and get me out of here, I get it. But I'm sorry, I'm terrible. I didn't get to see it. But that's the first thing that I think of is, like I said, Imbo's little thing, or those little peach dog things in Solo. Remember, they're chasing Han and Kira out in the beginning.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
You don't see many dog species in the galaxy far, far away.
I was trying to find the concept art. Oh, okay. So his name is Bel Zatifar. And he's Jedi Padawan, and he's got a dog companion.
Okay, that's cool. How's he gonna? He's not supposed to form attachments. How's he gonna have a dog?
I think the way Charles Soule said was that it's like a companion dog that it's a familiar type thing. It maybe has to do. He looks like he's human. We can do a quick Google on his name. But the dog is female. A human male who was the Padawan of Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm.
And he's got a female dog.
Bell was the owner of a charhound named Ember. So his name is a charhound, or his species is a charhound.
Mhm.
And currently, the only appearance is in the High Republic.
Okay. So it's a new species that will be new to us.
Yes.
That's good. I always like to see new things.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Oh,
Cool.
I'm
Welcome
back.
back, Greg.
B.
Feels so much better. All right.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the Padawan that has a dog in the High Republic.
See, I'm not super familiar with High Republic. For me, it's going to be a new surprise because
Shit.
after you guys' recommendation of Thrawn and how much I've enjoyed this, if you're going to tell me to dive into High Republic and start learning about that stuff, I'm going to hop right on it as soon as I get a chance.
I'm so excited for the High Republic. And like they've got a Wookiee Padawan. Is that a Batman? Is that a Batmobile?
That's the Batmobile. Batman the animated series. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just on the
Wrong
video.
podcast.
Right. Sorry.
But there's a Wookiee Padawan. His name is Buri Yaga. And if you remember in the Clone Wars, I don't remember the Wookiee Padawan's name, but Yoda specifically tells him, "You are a rare, rare for one of your kind."
When they're getting the kyber crystals off of Ilum, yeah, I remember that. Yes, because Yoda's there to greet them as Ahsoka brings the younglings.
Yep.
This has intrigued me since the beginning, and since I first saw the concept of the High Republic is I the Wookiee on there because the Wookiees and basically Mandalorians being force sensitive and being Jedi are very rare in the galaxy. From what little tidbits we've seen, and I think it's going to be cool to see in the High Republic. We'll get to explore, like you said, a Wookiee Jedi, and I know we'll talk about it later. But in Mando season 2, I think we'll get to explore a little bit of the first Mando Jedi too, because I think we're going to trace the origins of the Darksaber. But I'll put a pin in that until we come back for our Mando season 2 predictions. But what I'm getting at is I think it's going to be cool to explore these two rarities. You know, it's almost like as rare as the Yoda species is how it is to have a force sensitive Wookiee. You know what I mean? Like you said, I just think it's going to be cool to read about it, and I'll be curious if he speaks like basic, because we know that there's some he could have beat it. What if because he's so in touch with the Force, maybe he can speak basic and we won't have growls and grunts and stuff, or you know what I mean? We'll actually be able to understand him, and people will be able to understand him. So I don't know. I'm very curious about that because, like you said, we don't know anything about him really, or I don't. If there's anything in the legends about a Jedi Wookiee, I don't know anything about it.
I don't remember anything. Well, there was one Wookiee Jedi. He worked with Luke in the after Return of the Jedi era. Oh my gosh. Return of the Jedi era with Jaina Solo and Jason Solo. But the quote from Charles Soule says, Buri Yaga is one of the few Wookiees to travel from the lush forests of Kashyyyk to study in the ornate halls of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. While he is skilled with his two-handed lightsaber, it is Buri Yaga's natural, effortless ability to sense the emotions of others that sets him apart from other members of the Order. The Wookiee studies under Jedi Master Nib Assek, who learned Shriwook in order to more properly educate her student in the ways of the Force.
Oh, damn it.
Buri Yaga is gifted, but in any school, there's always a golden child.
This gives an opportunity to see, we saw in the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith that Yoda had a very good working relationship with the Wookiees, and he was very invited and well protected on Kashyyyk. This could be a good way to lay the groundwork that this rarity of a Jedi Wookiee, Yoda's going to be around. You know what I mean? Maybe we can see the groundwork of why the Wookiees respect him so much, or why they get along with it, or maybe this is why Yoda, doesn't underestimate the Wookiees, because he knows, because he worked with this. I want to say Baba Yaga, but that's not it. That's like the old fictional demon person. But like, this Yaga, I'll learn his name, but I think that's really cool. Greg, what do you think? I see you over here contemplating. I've seen your eyebrows raising up over here.
Like I said, I'm not really familiar with a lot of High Republic stuff at all. Like, to be honest,
neither are. It's brand new.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, I don't really have a great concept of what the timeline is.
200 years before Phantom Menace.
Before, okay.
Mm-hmm. So Yoda's about a spry 700 instead of 900.
That's
the 650. Yeah. He's right in there.
That's one thing I'm really looking forward to seeing is the difference in Yoda being that much younger. I mean, because I guess what if he died at 900, 700 is what, close to a fifth of his life. We've gone back now.
So if we're putting it in our years, like if he died at like 85 our years, like this is him at like a spry 70, still out there just
68
ninja kicking shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, just out there being just a good guy, ready to go.
Yeah, that'll be really, really interesting for me. I want to know more about the story of with the Jedi, because I feel like in the prequels, the Jedi were they were at their peak of their power, correct, before the fall of the Jedi. So I kind of want to see them to come to that peak, or at least see what it looks like differently. I know, Nathan, you told me you wanted to see lightsabers everywhere, because that's you love that. And yeah, that would be really cool to see some really cool lightsabers. But is this before the Rule of Two? Do we know that?
No.
Okay.
No, the Rule of Two has been established. God, at this point. Well, I guess.
So we're not going to have a huge lightsaber battle with Sith and Jedi then.
No, because at this point, if you remember in Phantom Menace, Mace tells Qui-Gon, or tells Kenobi that like the Sith haven't been seen or heard from him. God, what's he telling? How many years? You remember what I'm saying? Because whenever they come to him and they're like, a Sith, I think I've been counted a Sith Lord. Mace is like, nah, fuck, the Sith have been dead. When he brushes it off in typical arrogant, Mace Windu fashion, like, no, fuck them guys. We haven't seen them in years. So if they are around, if they're gonna thread in actual Rule of Two, the actual Sith Lords, because obviously there's other people that have used the dark side, but they don't actually adhere to the Sith. I don't know, for a better word, like mythology, Bible. You know what I'm saying? Basically religion, if you want to put it like that. They don't. There's only two people that adhere to the actual Sith protocol. There's other people that use dark side and stuff. But what I'm saying, if they're going to have the actual Sith in there, like they had better be literally only behind the strings pulling. And the only way we know is because we have a bird's eye view into it. Like our characters had better not know, because or else it just blows up Mace, because Yoda's around. Yoda's not dumb. He's not going to forget that when I was 700, yeah, we saw some, Sith Lord, but we didn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like I said, Mace and Yoda were both very competent that the Sith have not been seen in, God, I can't remember right now, but in however many years. So, like I said, if they're and it was more than 200. So, if they're going to do that, they better thread that needle very quickly, or very delicately.
It says online, hiding for 1,000 years.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? This is only 200. So, for 800 more years before that, like they think they're gone still. But you could have a, let's just say, like, even in this time, a Jedi falls to the dark side. Now, he doesn't necessarily have a Sith to teach him, but we know from Legends there was plenty of dark Jedi, which is basically a Jedi who had fallen to the dark side, but they didn't know the Sith stuff, but they were still using dark side abilities. You know what I mean? They were playing on the rage and on people's fear, and like they were feeding that power, but they weren't practicing the Sith principles and stuff. You know what I mean? So you can still have the dark Jedi come into factor. What do you think, guys?
What's the difference between a dark Jedi and a gray Jedi? I guess a dark Jedi is like the next step towards a Sith, but not quite Sith.
Yeah, they're basically a step before the Sith.
Okay.
Basically, like if let's just say like Palpatine, like if he was having tryouts, you know what I'm saying, for like a new apprentice, you'd basically have to be you'd have a better chance if you were already a dark Jedi and learning to use the dark side power. Like almost like Dooku. Dooku was a good Jedi, but he had studied and known so much about the dark side. Like he chose not to use it, but he had all the abilities and all these things happening where he could have been. And you know what I mean? And Palpatine saw that in him. So when Dooku left the Jedi Order and went into Sith, like look how quickly he learned Force lightning and to be regal and feed on those emotions and all. You know what I mean? So like, you got a better opportunity if you're already a dark Jedi. Like Anakin, he was pushing Anakin to be a dark Jedi. he was pushing him further down the path of kill first and go, but you know what I mean, and feed on your dark side energy, and then boom, then he teaches him the Sith ways of the actual Sith. You know what I'm saying, like teachings and protocols, because only one, you know, the rule of two. There's a master to have all the power and knowledge, and an apprentice to crave it, and you get to learn as much as you learn until, you know what I'm saying, it's passed down.
Before I forget, Chris says, "OMG, Nathan is alive. Miss you, buddy."
Very much so.
Hi, Chris.
And he says that he's been reading some Star Wars 2 lately, which yes, he has. That will be revealed soon. Gray Jedi are his jam, and Luke should have been revealed to be a Gray Jedi in The Last Jedi.
High five, bro. Instead of a fuck, we're not getting into it. I'm going to be very pleasant and kind to the sequel trilogy, because they are eventually going to improve it for me. Okay, I'm going to get there eventually, but just right now we need a little time apart. Okay, we just need a little time apart, and I'll be back to F with her later. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll mess around later, but right now I just need some time apart.
Maybe the next sexiest of weeklies.
Right. Yeah. You know, like the Mando is definitely helping that, because
what's the next section? Like tri-weekly? I'm not sure.
Weekly? What?
Got you with that one.
Do you want to take an ad break and move on, unless you got more to say about this, or what?
Well, I was gonna say, Greg, I'm not gonna read the full opening crawl of the High Republic, but the last.
Oh, go ahead. It's really good. Go ahead, read it. It's only like, it's good.
Read it.
Yeah, it's good.
Quad weekly. Chris says quad weekly.
Quad weekly.
Nice.
So the opening crawl is: the Force is with the galaxy. It is the time of the High Republic, a peaceful union of like-minded worlds where all voices are heard, and governance is achieved through consensus, not coercion or fear. It is a time of ambition, of culture, of inclusion, of great works. Visionary Chancellor Lena So leads the Republic from the elegant city world of Coruscant, located near the bright center of the galactic core. I don't think this is the opening crawl, but this is what IGN has.
I think you're even reading an opening answer. Like they're giving you the prologue.
Yeah, this could be it. But this is the first thing that popped up when I searched High Republic opening crawl. Like,
Jesus.
Gotta trust the
internet. Star Destroyer just took off.
I know. But I thought the last 3 paragraphs were really interesting, so I'm going to skip ahead. But the Jedi of the frontier can be the only resource for people with nowhere else to turn. Though the outposts operate independently and without direct assistance from the great Jedi Temple of Coruscant, they act as an effective deterrent to those who would do evil in the dark. Few can stand against the Knights of the Jedi Order, but there are always those who will try. ...
3 dots.
Actually, it's 4 dots, but I only said 3.
Yeah. That sounds interesting.
Extra emphasis.
Yeah. It's like
I'm ready for it.
Books, just books, correct? What's going on
now? Books, and then the little segment in the VR game.
Comics. Okay. Well, but this is going across. This is like novels, comics, young adults, readers, young adult comics. Like this is a multi-level publishing effort. Even audiobooks and audio dramas will eventually be tied in. Like this is a multi-level. Yeah. So like, well, not only like myself, you know me, I'm an audiobook guy. Like, so when High Republic comes out, when Charles Soule's book comes out, I'm going to get it on an audiobook or whatever. And if I really like it, I'll get a hard copy. But I'm just saying, like, there's also going to be, if I'm understanding correctly, eventually like specific, like Neil Gaiman's Sandman is specifically an audio drama and you can't get it in a book. Like as far as like in Dr. Aphra or whatever, you know what I mean? And the Dooku before they printed it. But like, I think there's going to even be tie-in material like that if like, let's just say you're diehard and you go, all right, this is my chance to get in on a new story in Star Wars. You can literally follow all of it, from the novels to the audio novels to the comics, and like go through all the grades. But if you wanted to just be like myself or whatever, and like I'm gonna give Charles Soule a chance because I fucking loved that Vader comic run from 2017. Like phenomenal run. And so like he's got my attention. So I'm gonna read that. And I'm not going to go for necessarily the young adult comic or books or whatever, and maybe not even some of the comics. But if, like, let's say Soule's book leads into what was the? I can't remember all of them, but there was another one that's an author on there that's getting one that's coming out that I've heard like some of the other works, so like I'm gonna be curious to see those, and yeah, they're supposed to have there be threads that follow through all of it to where if you're in the know, like you're in the know, you can follow it. But like somebody like me, I can kind of skip around and I'll still be able to get it together and they'll still connect for me. You know what I mean? Without me having to read the young adult novels or the young adult comics or whatever.
Okay. That was what I wanted to ask you, because if they're going to do stuff that's exclusively audio, is it going to be a situation where if you don't listen to that audio stuff, you're not going to get something that happens here, or you just happen to know, oh, the Easter egg from here, I remember that, I know where that story came from, type deal. And it sounds like that's what the route they'd be going with.
I was going to say, and if I had to guess, like I said, like if let's just say you've been following all the way through, like you'll be in the know, but like if I gotta imagine if they mention, if like let's just say that Kevin Scott or whatever, like something if he references something in the Charles Soule novel, like I got a feeling that like if we've read them together, we're gonna be like, hell yeah, we got the full scope. But if you haven't read it, there's gonna be at least 2 sentences of dialogue to kind of give you some kind of catch you up to a little bit of speed, or give you a Cliff Notes version or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're usually good about that, to where you at least get a Cliff Note to where you can understand and maybe get your brain intrigued to where you go, well, shit, I want to know more about that event or that weapon or whatever it is, and then you jump back to that book. I would think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's usually how they do it.
That was how Legends really worked. Because I read a couple Legends comics,
right.
Not much, but Legends, you were able to kind of stick with books if you wanted to, and then you could go with comics, and then the video games and everything.
Just to enrich it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is going to be a lot of different efforts involved here, but all the authors are kind of switching on and off. I don't know if Claudia Gray or Justina Ireland will get into the comics necessarily. Maybe a little bit, but most of their work is book based.
Well, but an idea that they present in their book could be picked up by a comic artist later and be like and expand it. Or even if, let's just say, somebody writing the comics, if Ray Carson, if she sees something in that comic or hears about it in the story group that so and so on this comic's doing this one thing, and she goes, well, shit, I really like that. I'm going to weave that into my next novel and really explore and expand on that. And the other, it's basically going to be like not a baton race, because they have a cohesive, they know where the story's going. But like, if you want to, like I said, like, let's just say I create a badass blaster in this book that I'm writing, or this comic I'm writing, and it's like this mega real limited, whatever kind of blaster, or maybe it assassinates somebody and I'm trying to get rid of it. And you go, that's a great plot point for my book. I'm going to have this blaster come in here and my main character is going to hide it because it's evidence, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you could expand how you want on stuff and with stuff.
Yeah, that could totally work.
That's my understanding. Maybe I'm completely off base, but that's my understanding of how all this is going to work.
No, I agree. So I think there's going to be a perfect opportunity to kind of get new Star Wars fans involved, because this isn't an era that's really been covered before. Yeah, there was Knights of the Old Republic, but really a certain time period before the Phantom Menace has not been covered, even in Legends. Like, Legends had some that dated back, but Legends also mainly stuck towards in the movie content and after, not really before. So,
well, to your point, it was before the rule of 2 Knights of the Old Republic, you know what I mean? So like, there was so how far back that was, and then like you said, the other point was expanding Luke and Leia going forward. This time period here is, as far as I know, there is no, it's completely untapped.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the most interesting part of it, is it's not only new to new fans they're trying to bring into the thing, it's new to all of us. Like, we're all big Star Wars fans, and this is all new stuff to us too, because you can go back and you can look at stuff like, I'm getting into these Thrawn books, and those are of a time period that I've already known about, but it's deeper into that story, and there's so much more story, and like, this is such a crazy universe, so well fleshed out, so many details. I mean, to be able to have something completely brand new where we may only see a character or two that we even know about. I guess Yoda's the only one that I could think of that would be in there 200 years ago, right? I can't think of any other characters that we know that may be in there.
Chewbacca technically could show up, but because he would be a youngling, like he would be a young dude. Yeah. In Solo, like in Solo, and when we meet him, he's like what, 250 or almost 300. Yeah. So technically, like if this Wookiee Jedi and we go to Kashyyyk, technically we could see a very young Chewbacca. That's but true. Like, and how long has 3PO or R2 been built? Like, I don't know if you want to start weaving that stuff in, because then you get a little too much. But they're droids. Technically, you could weave them into it if you wanted to. not 3PO because Anakin builds him, but R2. R2 is
Maybe.
apparently an old astromech when they find him in Phantom Menace. You know what I'm saying? He repairs it. Apparently, he's already an old timer. So how long has he been built?
Possibly.
Yeah. So it's a perfect opportunity to really just ingrain new fans and maybe even get some strictly Legends people back involved, because people are craving new Star Wars. And yes, people have had problems with Disney's product, but I still think it works. And people could give this a chance because it's not sequel trilogy material. It's not after. It's brand new. So I think it'll work.
Well, yeah, that's what Greg was saying. Like, especially like somebody like you who's very well versed in the Legends and like the movie and stuff. Like Greg said, for Greg's just now getting into kind of like the expanded like books and stuff. And myself, I'm basically like a TV guy. Like I'm getting into books now, but like this is still new territory for all three of us. And we all have different levels of fandom and like how we enjoy things. You know what I mean? Some are more depth but right now, like we can all get on the ground level right here and we can bring in somebody who's never read anything Star Wars, and they're going to have the same experience as us of like, this is all brand new to us. We don't know what to expect or where it's going.
Yeah.
Right. That's the beauty thing about Yoda being in there. That might be the only thing somebody who's seen it before knows.
Yeah, that's your doorway.
But it's even something you don't even have to know. You can meet Yoda in this new universe, or not universe, 200 years ago, and be fine. Not know anything about what happens in the future.
True.
Stick with the story. So.
All right. So
ad break.
Let's go ahead. Yep. Ad break.
Snail's gonna kill us.
We just talked for 45 minutes about
no, hey, I'm just saying, like, I know Snail's trying to stack himself up, you know, with it's only movies, and he's been sitting at home every day. He says he's working over, and that's why he hasn't been on Marvel Alliance. He's watching every superhero movie ever made, taking extensive notes so that he can be like, no, guys, that's why he's not letting 57 have DC CW or the DC TV. He's like, he just took 2 weeks off just to write mad notes on every shitty, like he watched Ghost Rider, the second one, 4 times, just writing shitty notes because he's like, I'm going to fuck these guys up. No, right now he's probably laughing, being like, "Yeah, guys, that's what I care about."
He's probably at work on his phone watching, laughing.
Right.
Actually, he is.
Yeah.
He said he's just here for Sasha Banks, new SmackDown Women's Champion, by the way.
Nice.
There we go.
And now he's still on his kick about wasn't me that wanted the rule. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that's not the way I hear it. I mean,
he's gonna have to show me some text, some literature.
Like,
yeah.
I know he's stacking the deck in his favor. We get it. He's not too confident in his team. I understand, but like we get it. You know, we got guys like Mr. Balga and 57 and Katie and Sarah. Like we know SCS is way overstacked, and Geekverse they just kind of put along. You know, that's why they had to bring us along for Geek Ultimate Alliance. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, he knew where to go for the magic. He came to SCS to get the alliance going. He knew, like, what's up? You came to us, buddy. We know we're the better product here.
I like this. Keep going.
I love you, Travis.
This is gonna be on Twitter later. You know that, right? Just this little snippet. Somebody's gonna cut it out and put it on there.
Yep.
Just saying.
He said, "Wait for the 7th." He has screenshots.
Okay.
Okay. I know it wasn't for me, so whatever. I'm curious to see.
I got to go through and scroll through my stuff. I don't believe I ever said it because I was.
Hey, let's get this damn ad break out of the way. I talked about it. Teased it 10 minutes ago. Let's get it out of the way and come back.
Ad break. Podcast magic. 3,
Here we go.
2, 1. And we're back. Thanks for being patient.
Yes.
As we discover podcast magic on YouTube. So the next topic on our list is the Thrawn news.
Yes.
So
tell me about it.
Travis says, "Love you too, Nathan." So IGN had an exclusive article today. Celebrate Grand Admiral Thrawn's 30th birthday next year with new books, fancy books, and old books on T-shirts.
Yes.
Nice.
So, there is a deluxe. If my Safari will scroll, it doesn't seem to want to scroll. But there's a deluxe edition of Chaos Rising coming. That is coming November.
What? What's 17th. Deluxe about it? What extra are you getting? What are they beefing it up with?
So okay, there we go. We're scrolling now. We are scrolling. So okay, we're just gonna go in chronological order of the article. May 4th, 2021, 30 years to the month, Heir to the Empire hit shelves. Del Rey will publish the second novel in Zahn's Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, which is entitled Thrawn Ascendancy Greater Good.
Okay.
And they released the cover for it. It's a very nice, bright red cover with Thrawn walking between what looks like two dragons.
What's up with dragons lately, man? I'm seeing dragons and everything.
It's probably not dragons, but it's like the Star Wars version. It's like lizardy with like tongue flickering out and everything.
It could be dragons. I wasn't expecting dragons in Dooku Jedi Lost, and like he awakened some dragon on a pole and shit. Like, I mean, they're leaning more towards dragons and stuff. It could be an actual dragon.
Well,
Game of Thrones. See, Game of Thrones. Damn it.
Here's the full description of what you can expect. Thrawn's latest triumph still rests newly on his shoulders. Despite leading the Chiss to victory and bringing glory to the House of Myth, the true threat to the Ascendancy has not yet been extinguished. And Greg, I'm sorry, I know you're about to read this book, but I don't think
he will never, ever remember. I tell him about things, and like 3 weeks to go by, and he finally gets into it. Like, did you know this? And I've been like, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, it's true.
It just goes in one ear and right out the other.
So the true threat to the Ascendancy has not yet been extinguished. Their foes do not send threats or ultimatums or mass ships on the edge of the chaos. Their weapons come cloaked in smiles and generosity, gifts offered freely, services granted unconditionally. Across the Ascendancy, seemingly inconsequential events could herald the doom of the Chiss. As Thrawn and the expansionary defense fleet rally to uncover the enemy plot, they discover a chilling truth. Rather than invade Chiss capitals or pillage resources, this mysterious enemy strikes at the very foundation of the Ascendancy by widening the rifts between the 9 ruling families and 40 great houses below. As rivalry and suspicion sow discord among allies, each warrior must decide what matters most: the security of their family or the survival of the Ascendancy itself.
So this is a perfect foil to Thrawn, because they just said it's not typical. They didn't go into capitals or whatever. They're doing it politically and dividing the 9 families politically. Thrawn, if we know anything about that character, is he is blind to politics, does not understand how to play that game or the pieces are in it or that strategy. So that's that kind of makes a lot of sense. If you want to keep kicking him and getting him lying down, like what do we know about him? Is he's a terrible politician. He only sees things in battle strategy. He doesn't see it in the well, if I play nice with this, it'll make this, and you know what I mean. So that to me, that's what it sounds like. If there's going to be a political element to it, which he'll be completely blind to, and that's how they're going to hit him.
Mm-hmm. Clay says, "I'm here busy at work, but I'm listening."
Nice, thanks, Clay. Thrawn makes everybody look dumb. Yeah, everybody talks.
Well,
I think like it's
just wait till Cincy, man.
Yeah, like
well, like I said, Greg. Like I said, the way my analogy is you're on your board. Like you think you're good. You're playing chess, and you think you're a great chess player, and you might be. But Thrawn's playing 3-dimensional chess, and that's like that's the only way he sees how to play it. He doesn't even know how to play with your one board. He's already thinking 3 and 4 moves ahead. Like just because that's how his mind works, not because he's some, you know what I mean? Just because that's how he sees the world, and that's how he sees strategy and statistics and stuff, and battle strategies and formations. I love it, man. I love it.
I do too. It's a great character. I love Thrawn so much. I've only read 2 books.
I told you.
It's so great.
And so the next part is Del Rey has teamed up with Out of Print to release a very limited edition of Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising. The new book comes encased in a foil-stamped slipcase and is printed with a piece of Chiss iconography. So what the cover looks like is it's basically a portrait of Thrawn, and then it's got it looks like the Myth family logo, and the expansionary defense fleet in the frame. So the book itself also has a brand new matching cover depicting the young Thrawn as he appears in the series. The illustrator is, I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry, Magali Villanueva. And he's
Sounds
wearing the uniform of the expansionary defense force officer. Thanks, guys. And it includes special schist blue stained pages and similar blue accents throughout the novel. And Tom actually posted a picture of the difference between the book we got released at first edition, Nathan, and then this one. The pages are like royal blue versus like the blue.
Okay, I'm all about those blue pages. Like I know it's like it doesn't do anything or anything, but it's just aesthetically pleasing, and I really like it. Just the way it trims out the pages and stuff. It's very nice. Is more I would say.
I still need to watch that movie. That's going to be a slice of film episode. But someone said on Twitter today, they were like, "Oh, can Greater Good have red pages, please?" And now I'm like, I really want that to happen
for
now.
the Thrawn eyes, yeah, but it's got to be that deep, like blood red, like his eyes are, like the way they describe it in that first. But I could go for that. Let's do it.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, Greg, have you not seen the hard copy of Ascent? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of this stuff. Yeah.
Go get yours. I don't have mine.
Once again,
but just
good.
Well, I was gonna finish that part off. The special edition is signed by Zahn.
Those beautiful blue pages and the border and stuff in there.
Ooh.
I love it. Yep. And then when you're closing it, it's just aesthetically pleasing. And like I said, you got that. Look, see, there's dragons on this one too. There wasn't no fucking.
Yeah, so he's surrounded by those.
That's for the house. I think it's for his house. I think it's the myth, like his family seal.
Okay.
Almost, you know what I'm saying? Like the family crest, like we're going Game of Thrones, like the Lannisters have lions, the Starks have dire wolves. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just the myth crest. Or that's my speculation right now until I'm told otherwise. But yeah, like I said, that's just the blue page.
Nathan, open the Dramatis Personae. The myth crest is in there.
Is it?
Yeah.
What am I opening?
Open it to the front of the book.
The Dramatis Personae. I have no idea what that was.
Hang on, man.
It was a key feature of Legends books.
Okay.
That told you who the people were in the book, or who was featured in the book, rather. And so they brought it back sparingly for other books. But they brought it for this one specifically because schist names are so hard to pronounce. And you can get lost in how many are in there.
Oh yeah, you'll be good to go for the audiobook if you when you start Ascendancy, to be honest with you, because some of those names are I mean they're a little wonky.
I retain the book much better in audio form than I do reading it myself. So I discovered that through audiobooks. Like I can picture it while I'm listening. When I'm reading a book, I can't picture it while I'm reading unless I have pictures.
Nathan, have you found it?
No, Katie, I don't know what I'm looking for. Let's move on. I mean, I'm just being honest, okay?
Yeah.
No, I'll find it later. This is gonna bug me. But it's not dragons. I don't think it's dragons.
The cover art of the episode.
There you go. I like that.
Oh, Snell, I'm gonna need a favor. Technically, he's already done the cover image.
Right.
So going back to the deluxe edition of Chaos Rising, it is signed by Zahn, but only 750 copies will be available, and it'll set you back $150.
That's not bad for an autograph copy. That's not bad.
Yeah. And it's gonna have pretty pages and a nice slip cover.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be bad. All right, that's not terrible.
So Nathan, when you ordering yours?
I'm not. I mean, I want to, but I'm right. I'm not. Okay, I'm good with my blue pager down here, unless I can find it for a cheap. I don't know. As of right now, no, I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I won't. I probably won't get it just because. I've
already got 2 copies of it. Yeah, and I got a lot of shit, but like I said, the muck and the shit. Okay, I'm just coming up for breath now, and then when I get off the episode, I'm gonna dive right back into it.
Yeah. It'd be cool to have, but I'm not getting it because I won't physically read it. It'll just be sitting on a shelf. Like I'll listen to the audio book, but I won't physically read it. So.
So the T-shirt, the book on a T-shirt, will also come out in May, it looks like. It will be released by Out of Print, and it features the original, it depicts Tom Jung's iconic original cover art for Heir to the Empire, the first book with Thrawn. So it's got Han, Luke, Leia, Chewbacca, Thrawn, and the infamous Dark Jedi, Joris, again, gonna butcher this, Chiboth.
All right.
It's got the original title crawl and cover blurb from its original release on the back. There is no limited run on this shirt, and it's $30. So I will probably pick that up.
T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty penny for a T-shirt, but it would be pretty cool.
But I don't have that many Star Wars T-shirts. So.
That's true. I could use more Star Wars T-shirts. That's a very good point.
We could all use more Star Wars T-shirts.
That's an even better point. Yeah.
So the limited edition run of Chaos Rising, as well as the T-shirt, will go up for order on Out of Print's website at 11 a.m. Eastern on November 17th.
Okay.
So there's those.
I'm down.
So,
Katie, you got to show us one when you get it. There's
I
no
will.
limit on the print, so I can order one if I like it, right?
mm-hmm.
Good deal.
Well, I if I was at my house, I'd have the book that I could show you the artwork itself. So, because I have that book.
I hear you.
But now is the perfect time to tell us, Greg, what are your thoughts on Thrawn after Thrawn and Thrawn Alliance?
Oh my gosh! First
Start
of all,
at the beginning.
Start from the beginning. First of all, I'm glad I read it in that order because I know there was I was asking which one was, and I know you said I could have read Ascendancy, but I guess this one and Alliances, and then
And Treason.
is the first trilogy, right? And that's the order they go in.
Yes.
So I'm glad I read it
Yes.
like that. Amazing. Like it really was, man. Just from the prologue to the epilogue in both books, it's just absolutely amazing. My first audiobook experience with the Sandman, and I really enjoyed that. The commentary, Neil Gaiman did a great job with that. But what's the guy, the name who reads this on audio?
Mark Thompson.
Amazing job.
Right.
Amazing job. You even told me about that, Nathan, about how
What I've been screaming.
he does all the voices and how well he switches the voices over. Some of the voices were,
That Thrawn voice, though. That Thrawn
Yes.
voice specifically. The
Yes.
way, the cadence and the cold and calculated way he speaks that, like, God damn, I love it.
I love hearing him say the Thrawn. He's like, yes, and I
Yeah.
can see Thrawn smiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's so great. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, absolutely love the stories, man. The first book, I loved Eli. I could relate to that character. I felt like that was me in my military career, with the way he did. Of course, not the way it ended, but or that book ended. I love Barriss in that one. The voices in there. I loved.
Weren't you like cheering once Eli finally got this
Yes.
deserved promotion? And
I
stuff?
sent
Like,
you a
wasn't it,
text.
like,
Remember, I
'cause
said
you're
Eli
like,
finally got
yes!
promoted. Yeah. And you told me too,
Yeah.
like watching Thrawn climb through the ranks in that first book. It's just amazing
Mhm.
how he does it. And
That's why I love that first book so much, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like his climb, because it's no coincidence that the military and the empire, they didn't have aliens. Like they were xenophobic. Like it was all human. Like that was your basic hierarchy of your mass forces, and Thrawn came in and like he became a grand admiral, and like to see him come in and start as untrusted and have to have a translator to becoming the grand admiral and the commander of what is the 7th fleet or whatever he comes. Can't remember what it is. And he gets he gets the Chimera, and like boom, like you are off to the races. Like this, like in one book you get to meet him, and you're introduced, fall in love with him, and you get the climb. You get the fucking climb, man, and I love it.
what were the other ships he was on? The Chimera was one he ended up in the end, and then
Thunder Wasp was his
Wasp.
first one. Was it?
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, if you look
The
it up
Blood
too,
Crow,
like,
I think was the second one, right?
you can Google it, and these are all ships that go basically inside the Star, or like accompany a Star Destroyer. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're sending a fleet out, these are like the smaller little ships that come with the Star Destroyer. So basically, he just worked his way up through the fleet. You know what I mean? Like little bigger ship, little bigger ship, little bigger ship. Boom.
Mm-hmm. I was really interested at the end with Eli. I wanted to see where his story took him, and I didn't know if the next movie we were going to hear from him. But apparently, I didn't realize it was a trilogy, like an order trilogy I was reading when I was reading these. I was just, but as soon as I started reading, I could tell right then, okay, this one's picking up almost exactly where the last one left off. Or actually, no, it is a few years later, right? But same kind of position, because Eli's gone, and I want to know what happened to him. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see, Nathan kind of hinted that I'm going to see him in the next book, which is great because I want that character back. Learn more about the Ascendancy. Arinda was another character that really impressed me because
she's so annoying.
Well, but she's annoying.
Price?
She's annoying. Yes, she's annoying.
Her.
But
One of my
she
favorite
walked
parts
up
of
the
Rebels
ranks
is where
the same way that Thrawn did. Man, she built everything she had.
But in
line
the
and everything she did.
in the beginning, I felt for her. In the beginning, when they were taking her family's mind and stuff, like I was like, damn, like Price, like let's, I was rooting for her. And then she became what she fought against. And like I said, and by the time, like if you were to follow this timeline, Greg, like once you get to treason, she meets her end. You know what I mean? So and in Rebels, you're going, yes. Yeah, you just love it when she finally gets it in Rebels. And like I said, in the beginning of the book, the first couple of chapters, I was like, I was on her team. Like I was like, all right, let's get this. And then when she imprisons her friend who was like actually a spy and stuff, and like she's all cold-hearted about it and shit. And you're like, damn, like you can just start see the fall and the power corrupt her. Like I said, by the end of it, I was good riddance. I was like, that bitch, like let's get her out of here.
Like I said, it was interesting, man. She sold out her family's farm just to, or her family's mine just to get where she was going. So yeah, but I did notice that her voice and Padme's voice sound almost identical, which I understand. It's one guy doing a lot of voices. You can only do so many female voices.
I mean, like all of my, my Canadian voice is the same for every Canadian, and Travis, and both Travises have very different accents. They're both Canadian, but if I'm doing it, it's going to be the same, what's this on a boot? And you know what I mean? Like I'm doing the same accent for both of them. So I get it, and there's only so much.
Yeah. So just the first one, I absolutely love that book. The second one
so fucking good.
Was so good. Not saying the first one, but the second one was so good, man. I love it. There's 2 prologues, so I knew immediately as soon as there's 2 prologues that I'm going to be following 2 big stories, and almost every chapter jumped back and forth. There were a couple times where it'd be like 2 chapters in this one timeline, and then it'd go to the other one. But I love that it's jumping back and forth, and I love the mystery because I'm texting Nathan. I'm like, okay, so I know that
I gotta be quiet too because I couldn't remember how
far
things were, and so I'm like being quiet. I don't want to be being real vague with Greg because like he'd say something, and I'd be like, oh, I know, but I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know if he's been there yet, so I don't want to say anything, Well,
it was like I knew that Vader knew who Thrawn was, but I didn't know if Thrawn knew who Vader was. And then I thought about it, and I was like, no, he's got to know. And then they start to lay down more groundwork towards the end. Towards the end of the movie, towards the middle, you're like, okay, yeah, he knows. He's already said a few things that Vader had to brush off, and it's like, okay, he knows. And I love that. I love the hearing the story. I wanted to ask in the Ascendancy trilogy. Is he going to be wearing that suit they described, the Chiss armored suit, not armor, but the Chiss military suit that he was wearing at the beginning or in the flashbacks with Anakin and Padme? Because he should be. That's their military suit, right? The brown suits that can take a blast.
So you'll learn more about.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
okay, I got you. Cool. So just get there, right? Just get there. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like let's read Treason and then go to Ascendancy, and it'll all make sense. Especially with you doing it in this close succession, like you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna see how all these dots connect really well because you're doing them back to back to back. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be like, oh, this.
I still wish you would have gone Ascendancy and then gone into the trilogy because I think Ascendancy is a much better lead into Thrawn.
You absolutely
could any of the trilogy. That's what you're saying.
Technically you could.
That would have made sense. Yeah, I honestly didn't know what I was doing. Really I wanted to read some Thrawn, so I read the first one. It just said Thrawn, so it was a good place to start. But
I think Ascendancy is a great book. It is on par with Zahn's Legends books because Thrawn trilogy that we get in Empire in the Empire era is not as good as the efforts we get in the Legends with Zahn and Thrawn and everything. And maybe that's because I'm a little bit biased because Heir to the Empire introduces my favorite character, but I still think the Legends books are some of Zahn's best work, and Ascendancy is on par with that.
The alliance, like we're talking about, Greg, like me, like Anakin / Vader is my favorite character because that's all one character to me. You know what I'm saying? So like this book, like not only do I get a flashback to my favorite era, the Clone Wars, with my favorite clone command, general of Anakin Skywalker, with Padme, because I got that's my power couple. You know what I'm saying? I love Anakin and Padme and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But then we get to come back and like you get the cold and calculated Vader and like the way Thrawn, who doesn't know shit about politics or whatever, but he knows how dangerous Vader is, and like just the way he dances around him, and like, oh boy, there's so much tension there. Like, and every time you're like, man, is Vader just gonna like cut this guy's arm off to teach him a lesson? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's sometimes where it's like real intense, and you're going, woo, like, what's gonna happen here? You're like, I don't know. I really liked it, and that just speaks volumes because my favorite timeline, my favorite character, and I still, if I had a gun in my head, I would still choose the Thrawn book, the first one, just because, like I said, I love that climb. I don't know why, but man, Alliance, like I just love this character overall, and like you're going through the journey of why I love it, just because the way his interactions, just the way his mind works, and like how like what kind of a guy does Timothy Zahn have to be able to like. How does his mind have to work to be able to put it to paper to make Thrawn's mind work? Again, it's consistent. From what I know, all 4 books now in the Disney era, he's got the same consistent mind. Like Rebels, there's a little divergence, but they got the essence of the character, most of all. But like Zahn, like fucking just consistent. Like, how does his mind work to make Thrawn's mind work like that? Like to me, I love it. It's brilliant.
Right.
I love it.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Sorry.
I was going to ask you. I was trying to place the timeline of the first flashback with Anakin and Padme, and they talk about a couple times. They mentioned a couple times how Ahsoka had just left the Jedi Order. So is this happening in Clone Wars the first time she leaves? This is like right in between that and when she comes back at the end? Yeah,
so this is between season 5 and season 7.
Okay.
Right. See right here?
Yeah, I nailed it.
Solo, Thrawn, the first book, A New Dawn, Alliance, Treason, Rebels TV show, Rogue One. That's when these books happen. This trilogy happens right here. So after Revenge of the Sith, this happens Solo, and then it'll be this Thrawn book, and then all 3 of the Thrawn books, and then Rebels, and then you go into Rogue One, and then you go to A New Hope and go on down. So it gives you the timeline in the hard copy.
Okay, cool. I might have to buy
That's what this is the new book. So, and this is the prequel to all that. So,
okay.
But that's where your 3 are falling in line at. So in that space of the Empire's technically wiped them out, but you're still in that beginning stages before you get to your Luke and your rebellion and all. It's still all being built. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, so Thrawn, the first book, takes place before Rebels, or during the first season, because Thrawn isn't in that season. Okay. This was released as a prequel to his return in Rebels, because people wanted the opportunity to have more introduction. This was a huge deal. Like, when I saw this happen, I was like, oh my gosh, Thrawn.
Yes, big deal.
And then, so the Anakin and Padme section of Thrawn Alliance takes place between season 5 and season 7 of Clone Wars. And then we have the other part takes place, I think it's between season 3 and season 4.
No, 4, season 4, because you remember Thrawn in the latter part of season 4. Remember Price, that's how she dies. Thrawn's gone during this time. She's you know what I'm saying? Like, she messes up and loses Lothal. Like, she's the one that fucks that up. And he's gone for a week. And remember, sorry, that does spoil it, Greg, but in Treason, he's got 7 days to figure this problem out. Remember? Because he's got to go back and take care of the ghost ship crew.
Well, so no, Alliance, I'm talking about Alliance, takes place between season 3 and season 4. Sorry. And then Treason takes place at the end of season 4.
Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay.
So that's your timeline there. And cool. Rebels seasons 3 and 4 are phenomenal. So
I haven't watched any Rebels, but now that I know Thrawn's in there, I'm probably gonna have to get around to watching that. And I'm part of an animated television or animated podcast, so it's a good idea.
Perfect opportunity to cross over.
The only part of Rebels Greg has seen is when I sent him that it was a flashback. It was the Duel of the Fates. Or Anakin and Ahsoka, or Vader and Ahsoka fighting. It had cut-ins of flashbacks from the Clone Wars and the voiceover and stuff. And
that was pretty good.
Got a little dusty in there, watching that stuff, but it's pretty good.
Okay, few talking points I wanted to put about alliances. Oh, sorry,
go for it, Greg. I was going to ask if you had anything else to say.
I do. Just a couple more things. Yeah, I hated Anakin's voice. It sounded kind of like
I know.
Keanu Reeves, Stone Keanu Reeves talking like, "Come on, man! Like, why are we doing that?" I was like, "Dude, I don't." But I get it. Like I said, I get used to it, and I get it. He's doing a bunch of voices, so he's got to change it up.
As long as the Thrawn voice was on par, like
right. Rook, I wanted to see Rook so bad, just from the description of him and listening to him in the story. I had to go up and look up a picture of him, and he looks as badass as he sounds.
And you should watch Rebels, because Rook is in Rebels.
Okay, cool,
and
awesome.
He does some shit. And you can actually see Rook do some shit instead of just reading about, like hearing it described. Okay. You can actually see him do some stuff.
Okay, good deal.
The Nogri are one of my favorite additions from Legends.
Okay.
Like, they're so funny, and they were like Leia's guardians in the Legends era.
Okay.
Like, she literally had Nogri bodyguards. It was so much fun.
That's who I'd want as a bodyguard. Honestly, that's
cool.
who I'd want as a bodyguard.
That's cool.
I liked the girls. The prisoners are all females, and it's mostly females who have the precognitive double vision, I guess they call it.
Oh, the Skywalkers?
Yeah, what do they call it? They call it they said this Jedi call it double vision, because they're always, every time, the double vision and this and that, and that's pretty cool. They point that out. What did the Chiss call it? Third something. Sight. Yeah, third sight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool, and I guess it fades as they get older, so it's something the younger kids have. They navigate.
You find more out about that in the next 2 books.
Okay, cool. They're planting seeds in this one. I love at the end of this one how they're planting seeds for Padme in her head, and especially now knowing the timeline of this, exactly where it is, it makes total sense of maybe what we're doing is not right. It plants at the very, very end where she's like, sorry, Travis said I was cheating on him. In the chat room. It lays at this because she's kind of at this point where Anakin destroys that or thinks he's just gonna destroy the mines, but he ends up pretty much destroying the entire area with the lava because it went the other way. And she's going through that revelation in her mind, like, we're doing exactly what we're trying to stop, type deal. And it's planting the seed for that. It may be the first time I think she's ever thought that, at least in the series. It does the same thing with Vader, where he plants a seed in Vader's mind that you're his apprentice and you're his number 2, but maybe he's not telling you everything, which is awesome. Like, I loved him planting that. And one thing that I did not pick up on until the very, very end, and I thought it was so genius, so clever, and maybe it's just me just not picking up on it. They talked to this bartender a number of times in the flashback, or not in the flashback, excuse me, in the Vader and God, why am I not remembering names?
The Empire time.
Yeah, in the Empire times, and he even walks in there and he says, "Do you remember me?" Thrawn does, and he's like, "Yes, I remember you. You don't have that other person with you." Obviously, talking about Anakin. That's Lebjao. Like, I did not know that until the very end, when Lebjao saves R2 and brings him to the ship, and Anakin's like, "Okay, I guess we'll take him with him," and they're going to take him to Batu, and he says, "Well, you should just try to get a job as a bartender. I hear they need a lot of bartenders around here." And then I listened to the accent, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's Lebjao." Didn't realize that until the very end. Did they hint at that? Did they mention that? Because I don't think they ever said the bartender's name the whole entire book until the very. They actually don't even say that that's what it is. But I had to put it together, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's pretty cool." Like, the writing on this, the way they tie things together.
Who are you talking about? What's bartender?
The bar. Okay, they're going to the bar, and that's the first place.
No. Lebjao. Which bar is he? That the one at the cantina?
Yeah, the cantina. Mm-hmm. I said bartender. Yes. Yeah.
Well, but is that the case? Because that took place at Black Spire Outpost, and Black Spire Outpost is in Batu, and Batu is where Disneyland made their Star Wars world at.
Right, but that's where they took Lebjao to at the end, was Batu. They dropped him off there, and they said you should check out, see if they need bartenders. They always need bartenders here. And you listen to that accent; it's the exact same accent for Lebjao as it is for the bartender in the cantina.
I just can't think of who Lebjao is.
He's the one who was sneaking Padme food and stuff like that whenever she first crash landed.
Oh yeah, I know in the book, but I can't picture like. I know. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I think that's
no. I'll figure it out because I'm just a little lost right now. But that's me. I'll figure it out. I can't think. Once I Google, you know what I'm saying, I get a picture, it'll jog me, and I'll get there, guys. I'll get there.
Yeah. No. So. This is actually the first canon introduction of Batu. This was before Galaxy's Edge came out, and so this is the first appearance of Batu.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The furthest outpost in the Galactic Empire.
Right.
Yep.
Basically on the edge of the chaos, which you'll learn once you get to the ascendancy, but you'll get there. But I'm just saying, it's at the edge of our known space and basically the edge of the chaos known space from the ascendancy. So it's basically like your equator, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Your divider point. Yeah.
I also love whenever they're having the Vader and Thrawn are kind of having their last little comment, little meeting together, where they're basically Vader's telling him, he's like, "I'm going to kill you, or you're going to do this, or you're going to tell me this, or I'm going to kill you," type thing. And he's telling him, he's like, talking about how the Gricks have been studying them for years and knows their fighting tactics. He's like, "You really think they've been watching you for that long?" He says, "The Chiss were." Well, like, why wouldn't they be? The Chiss were. We were, So I thought that was pretty cool. It adds a whole new element to Star Wars. Like, I love it so much, and I love the character. Thank y'all so much for telling me to read these. I've already bought Treason. I already owned Ascendancy, because I bought Ascendancy first. Yeah. I just bought Treason the other day. I can't wait. I'll probably start next week. Start reading it. So it usually takes me about 3 or 4 solid days of listening on my route. Sure. To go through a whole book. I get it. But it's fun, man.
I get it. You got anything else, Greg?
No. I hate Duja died, but she was the sacrificial lamb. So
sacrificial.
But yeah, I love the book. Yeah, there's not a lot. I mean, go listen to it. Sign up for Audible. You get 2 free credits. Buy these first 2 books. I promise you'll buy more. It's really good.
I really liked how in the flashbacks, I mean, while we're doing, I'm not trying to prolong, but I did like in the flashbacks how and Thrawn helps Anakin figure out what they're building there, and Anakin's so blinded. Excuse me. He's so blind he doesn't even see that the armor, why would the clone's armor be beefed up like that and shit? You know what I mean? And be resistant. He just doesn't even put it together. And he fights those battle droids too. He just thinks that, they're just creating everything because those battle droids, he can only get them in the eye and stuff. It's just like he said, Padme starts to put it together here, but Anakin this is after Ahsoka's gone. And it's so we're damn near 9 months before the fall, before he turns full dark side. You know what I mean? Because it's only about a year from the time Ahsoka leaves until or maybe even 6 months, 9. You know what I'm saying? It's not that long of a time period.
I think she gets pregnant on the trip back.
Oh, yeah.
Little brown chicken, brown cow after this battle,
just space banging. Hey, when the ships are rocking, don't come out, right? You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna drop Lib Jeb off.
But even at that, that could be, but that still fits into the timeline. You know what I'm saying? So this is Anakin's still very vulnerable. He was already getting frustrated with the Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Then he loses Ahsoka, which pushes him further. You got Palpatine Palpatine's almost not even hiding how he's manipulating him anymore at this point. You know what I mean? He's nurturing the hate and the rage so much. I don't know. I just like that. You know what I'm saying? There was that opportunity. He could have. He couldn't see the forest through the trees. You know what I'm saying? If he'd just stopped and opened his eyes and used his thinking, he could have been oh, bam, 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 and put it all together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Padme too, but Padme was still this was a very chaotic time, especially her having to hide out and all. You know what I mean? It's just you just wish you could have nudged him, or that Thrawn would have just said, "Hey, wake up, stupid," because you knew Thrawn caught it. He knew something wasn't right off the bat, because he even told him, why would your clone troopers need lightsaber resistant armor? You know what I mean? It's just
and he says it in the book too. He's like, his point is to figure out which of these two sides is actually right, which one's kind of, he's not on either side of the resistance or the Republic or the Empire.
And who could help? Who could best help the ascendancy?
Mm-hmm. And dang it, I had something. Oh yeah, I love too how he basically described down to a T the way things were going to work. He says there's 2 ways to take over something like this. You can either do it in mass numbers with a surprise attack, which is kind of reminds me of what the Republic felt like they did in Attack of the Clones.
That's what the Sith were doing with the battle droids.
Exactly.
Separatists.
Mm-hmm. With the 2 things they were trying to do, and then the second one was you can do it in secret over a long period of time, but there's a risk of being caught, and that's exactly what the Emperor was doing. He was doing it in secret.
Yeah.
And he was right at that point where he was going to get caught. Yeah.
The Emperor was doing both. He was playing the long game, and he was pushing the Separatists to do it. This son of a bitch, he was like, you know what? I'm not just going to play one angle. I'm going to play all angles, and whichever one works, that's where I'm just going to back my shit to. You know what I'm saying? He was doing the Emperor, brilliant.
That's why he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
That's
one of the
why
best
I feel like
bad
they did
guys
him
ever
well.
created.
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
But,
I could see it. We could keep talking about little points in here, and I would talk all night long because I love these books. Yeah.
But we should probably do another ad break before Snail Trail has a conniption, and we need to get that out of the way because I want him to keep his wits about him. So when he gets beat, there's no excuses. You know, whenever the super civil servants lay the smackdown,
Right.
I don't want him to have any excuses, and you know, there's nothing right. There's nothing going on there. I don't want him to be stressing out and all that stuff.
You heard the man. We're taking an ad break right now. And we will come back with our Mandalorian season 2 predictions. So,
Yes.
3, 2, 1. And we're back. Thanks for being patient. So now, okay, so we know a lot of rumors about Mandalorian season 2, and this is kind of why I wanted to kind of get into this, because recording this on Thursday. We're live on Thursday. Mandalorian season 2 drops in roughly 4.5 hours. Nope. Siri, I don't want you to set a timer for 4.5 hours. I would like to get some sleep tonight. So we've heard rumors about Ahsoka. We've heard rumors about Sabine, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett.
We've heard more than rumors about Ahsoka, right? They've had a casting.
No,
nothing's confirmed.
Oh, okay,
they have not confirmed shit. Disney has been. Mom has been the word. They ain't said a damn thing.
Okay.
The most we've had about Ahsoka is Rosario Dawson came out and said, "You know, I'd love to play that role. Disney, please call me."
Okay, I thought there was more of a confirmation than that, but I guess not. Huh? See, I'm not as into. I come to y'all for that kind of information, so.
Right.
That's why we're here.
That's right. Because I'm no good at looking at myself. I look up the wrong stuff.
So, Sasha Banks was originally, when she was cast, a lot of rumors says she's going to be Sabine. I'm thinking she's going to be a leftover Inquisitor. Maybe even like the one from what is the game that just came out? Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Maybe
you didn't make it to the end. You didn't make it to the end of Fallen Order, did you?
No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. I'm a bad Star Wars podcast host.
I didn't make it all the way to the end either, but I did see the cutscene. Okay, I did see the cutscene and what happened.
I need to do that. I need to make that a priority.
I'm just saying. I think Vader might have wrecked your plans for Alice. That's all I'm saying. I mean, without saying too much, I'm just saying. I think Vader might have put a stop into that.
But I still think she could be an Inquisitor. Maybe like the 18th sister or whatever.
She can inquisit me, you know what I'm saying? What's up? No.
You and Snell both.
Right?
You're talking about the character or Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks.
Okay. The Inquisitor or Sasha Banks?
So I think Moff Gideon's kind of roped her in to kind of get Baby Yoda, because I'm not calling him the child. I don't care what Favreau says.
Yeah, fuck that. Whatever. Get over it. You guys screwed the pooch on that one. Should have given him a name instead of letting it go on for so long. Like, come on, you knew what happens. Stop it.
Yeah. I think they were calling Baby Yoda for the first episode, right? That was all over the news. Yeah, like
because that was you see the little image where he like points at him and like goes to touch him, and that's it. And
everybody on the network can call him the Baby Yoda except for Darth Balga, because you know he doesn't like hearing Lady Thor when referring to Jane Foster, so he doesn't get to say Baby Yoda because it's a child. So Balga, you know what? The ball's in your court. All right, I'm gonna need to hear the child from now on. You know, unless that there are little tip for tat there.
That's a very good point.
So, but I've kind of. So, what do y'all think we're gonna see from Mandalorian season 2?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna untake that pin from earlier that I was talking about. I think we're gonna get I think we're gonna get more in Clone Wars. We get to hear the verbalization of a quick backstory on where the Darksaber comes from and about the first Mandalorian Jedi, something Vizsla. He's part of the House Vizsla. And in Rebels, we get to see on they do this cool little kind of like history lesson with basically like hieroglyphics on the walls or whatever, and it kind of depicts that or whatever. I think we're gonna get more being that this show is the Mandalorian and we've got the Darksaber in here, and that is a huge part of the Mandalorian mythos and mythology. I think we get the Timothy Oliphant or whatever is like in this show or supposedly entered or whatever. Everybody's talking about it like he's the Boba Fett that gets the armor out of the pit. Why can't he be a part of a flashback as the first Mandalorian Jedi? Why can't he be the Vizsla that created the Darksaber? If we're going to get a history lesson, even if it's not like a focus, even if we only get a 5-minute, another history, because like I said, they did Clone Wars. They gave you the quick CliffsNotes version. In Rebels, they expanded on it more. This is a bigger audience because some people, they were like Greg, where they're like, fuck animation, I'm not watching any of this. So the new people that are coming in who are watching this because they do live action, like you're going to have to give them an explanation, a cliff notes to it. So why can't it be Timothy Oliphant as the first Vizsla, the first Jedi? Like, I'm not saying we're going to get a full 30-minute episode with him, but why can't we get a 4-minute, 5-minute flashback of him being a part of like a council, or like getting the quick glimpses of him making the saber, him dying, and then you get the flashback where it's in the Jedi temple and the clans coming in and breaking and taking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just fuck it, let's just shoot our shot, and like it's like playing the lottery. Like that's my out of left field that I've heard nobody talking about. Is I think we're gonna get way more explanation on the Darksaber and the first Jedi Mandalorian than what anybody thinks. And my out of left field is I think Timothy Oliphant could be that he could be there for the flashback and be the original, just to show the origins of it, who created the Darksaber.
Well, before we get too into it, Snell does have a question for us. He says, do you think season 2, episode 1 has a shock ending or reveal like the first season? If so, what? And Greg, I want you to go first.
I think it'd be smart because it was a really big payoff to have that surprise. Surprise at the end of season 1 was the Baby Yoda reveal, right? Yeah. So I think it will, just because it was a great thing to do in the first one. It gets people wrapped in. I think once people saw Baby Yoda, they were hooked. Actually, after saw the first episode, I was hooked. But most people, I feel like eating it like that is great. What could it be? Maybe some words. Maybe some words from Baby Yoda. Maybe this is the way from Baby Yoda. Or excuse me, the child. Right.
I do think I don't want to think that they have to, but I almost want to say that they have to, because the way they came out swinging in season 1, like people are expecting them to up the ante on season 2. Like they're expecting this to be a progression of like season 1 was great. Like, like let's, what now? Like, I think you've almost got to, and if I've got to say something, maybe, God, I don't know. Maybe he gets on the trail to, God damn it. I don't know. I mean, like, what could be good to like explode but not take away from it? Is it Boba Fett like crawling out of the Sarlacc pit? Is it do we see him in, you know what I'm saying? Is it like we flash over and like we see this guy that's in the hospital and his Mandalorian armors, they're all like chewed up, and we look at his Tamara Morrison as Boba Fett, laying there in this kind of coma thing coming in? Like, I don't know, because people be like, what the F? Or, I don't know how you, unless Baby Yoda pulls a lightsaber out at the end and people go, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, lose it. But I don't know what you could do, because you don't want to introduce Ahsoka too early to take away from the story. You don't want to introduce, it's gonna have to be something like a Baby Yoda we didn't expect. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you're saying that about Boba Fett, because I'm looking at pictures right here. I don't know. I guess this is from set photos, a screenshot from the Mandalorian Disney Plus brightness. Looks like it has a picture of Boba Fett walking in the background. Like it looks like Boba Fett armor.
Yeah.
Well, so the rumor is Timothy Oliphant's character picked up Boba Fett's armor, and Boba Fett is no longer in the armor. So that's the rumor. I like Nathan's idea of him being the Vizsla in the backstory. But to answer,
that's just my wild guess shot.
Yeah, but to answer Travis's question, I think something that could be totally doable is we get a lot of. Number one, I do think that there's going to be some sort of reveal at the end of episode 1, just to bring people back in and make sure, okay, we are still invested in the show. We are here for a reason. We don't need to drop Disney Plus now and come back 8 weeks later. I think something that's going to kind of be effective there is maybe a Bo-Katan reveal or a Sabine reveal, and that kind of leads. That's like the Sabine comes in or Bo-Katan comes in and says, "Hi, my name is Bo-Katan and I'm here to help," or something, and then cut to black. And like people are gonna go in then and research Bo-Katan or post on Twitter who's Bo-Katan if they don't know who that is, because I mean that's from the fans that haven't watched the Clone Wars or Rebels. That's going to lead to a query of information that says, okay, wait, this is a cliffhanger. I need to know who this character is. She's clearly important. So that could lead you to a query there, but also kind of lead you into the backstory maybe of the Darksaber, of the Jedi Mandalorian Wars and everything, and kind of get you going in the direction. Because I think one thing that the Mandalorian struggled with last year is, yes, they were building a universe up front, but one of the more important things that they kind of failed at is there's only 8 episodes in the season. It's not a lot of material, and a lot of the big complaints about the Mandalorian season is that it had a lot of filler. And yes, it kind of built everything that you needed for those final 2 episodes, but really I think
I would have called it character development.
Yeah, and I do agree, but something that Mandalorian season 2 needs to have involved is kind of a more clear storyline that reaches across all 8 episodes and not just
more serialized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's the kind of what you suffer from being in the first season, right? You have to have a little more character development in the first season. But I agree with you. The second season should we know these characters now, most of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's something that I just think you can have a filler episode in 8 episodes, but it shouldn't be a huge portion of the show. And so I think that's something that the Favreau and the other directors and everything, other writers are going to have to prove, is that season 2 doesn't have a lot of filler looking episodes.
Yeah.
You could a little like mind popper or something for the end of season or like episode 1. It could be something as simple as a location. Like maybe when we catch up with them, we know there's some times passed. And like maybe it's something as simple as like he's flying through space and he's talking about this location he's on to or whatever, and he's got a lead to track this down or whatever, and maybe the last shot is like we pan out, or it's like and it's coming in and it's the beautiful sky cover, and we look and it opens up and maybe he's on Naboo. You know what I'm saying? Like he's pulling to the sky space in Naboo, and people are going, "What the fuck?" Or maybe he's in the Gungan city, or like it could be as simple as a location, just as simple as like literally. Baby Yoda didn't say a word; it was literally just him. People went, "Whoa, massive implications here! Like, what is this?" It could be, like I said, it maybe I don't know. Maybe Hoth doesn't do it, but maybe we see Ilum, like we see the beginning of Star Killer Base being like dug out and made, and like the character doesn't know what it is, but like we see it and we go, oh fuck, like that's Star Killer Base. You know what I mean? Like we know what's happening. Or maybe we go back to I don't know, like I said, it could be as simple as a location. I wouldn't necessarily say like I don't want to see the Falcon like sitting around on a thing, but like maybe he goes to Jakku, or maybe it's just like I said, it's somewhere that we've seen, or it's something. Maybe he goes to Dagobah. Like maybe the last shot is like him landing on Dagobah and we see Yoda's hut. Like, what if it pans out and like literally Baby Yoda's gonna see Yoda's hut or something? Like people be like, "Oh my god!" Like he's gonna find what he's.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as that. So like that, but I don't. I think yes, they do. They come out, they leave you on your jaws on the ground because they want you to come back week 2 and they want that same buzz. But what it is, right now I don't know, because I would have never predicted the Baby Yoda thing. You know what I mean? Which is a great thing because these men are smarter than I am. This creative team. Obviously, I'm just along for the ride. But yes, I do think something is gonna. By the end of it, we turn it off and go, "Holy shit! I gotta immediately rewatch that." You know what I mean?
So Chris dropped a question, which I think kind of leads in this discussion. So you have, who do you think is their big surprise cameo we did not see coming? And now obviously you've got all these rumors and everything, but I mean there were rumors for Mandalorian season 1 and we didn't hear anything about Baby Yoda. So is there something that could come out of left field that says, here's a present?
It's kind of hard, man. It's like Yes, there's plenty of things. I mean, fucking Admiral Akbar, you could do that. It's easy to put a suit on the same guy, or, like you could literally see, like they could literally talk to the Admiral. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna get Harrison Ford back, and if you do, you got to DH the shit out of him, and because it's not gonna look like for him to go to Harrison Ford, and then 5 years later he reverts back to Alden Ehrenreich. People are like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I mean, technically Chewbacca.
You could pull Alden Ehrenreich in. You
could see Chewbacca, like we could literally see Chewie on a mission with the Mando, like, and people be like, what? Because they got that Jonas guy who's great, Peter Mayhew gave him the blessing, and like he's got all the manners down. Like we could literally have our Chewbacca go on a mission with them or something, or see him and tell him. Where like there's definitely things that, like I said, I'm not smart enough to know, because like I'd be like, what? Like I love that they put bonk droids in it. I love that we went back to Tatooine. I know a lot of people, whatever, fuck that. That's what got me in there. Episode New Hopes would have got me in. That roped me in. Tatooine is what made me love this fucking thing. So I'm just saying, like I don't know that, but because they got smarter people than I do, or and like I'm gonna love it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't even begin to guess. Surprise cameo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so Chris said Mara Jade.
Mara Jade.
You can bring Smuggler Mara Jade in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You could totally bring her in.
Fucking Jar Jar, what's up?
Snell said Thrawn cameo chances.
I would love that. God, I would love that.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is you won't see Thrawn in particular. You're going to see Eli Vanto.
I could deal with that. I could
and you're gonna see an Eli Vanto come in, and maybe it's the episode Ahsoka comes in and says,
Admiral Vanto.
Yeah, potentially. I don't think you're gonna see Thrawn appear. Maybe Timothy Olyphant's playing Thrawn. I don't know. But I just don't think it ties in well.
I could see that. Yes.
Well, what I'm thinking is it just doesn't tie into what kind of the story they built in season 1, but then again,
no, but it does tie into the long speculated backdoor pilot. There's a reason why Ahsoka's coming in here, that Ahsoka and Sabine are still on the hunt for Ezra, and Ezra is with Thrawn, and if they do like they did with the Bad Batch, because what was it? That was basically a backdoor pilot to fit into season 7 of the Clone Wars, and now we know we're getting the spinoff series. So really, you could do the same thing with the Ahsoka if they want to, because I don't really think you get Rosario Dawson just to be Ahsoka, a character that big for one episode, 5 minutes screen time, whatever it is, 10 minutes, maybe it's a full episode arc or whatever. But I don't think you put that weight behind them. If you were just going to do it a one-off, you could have Ashley Eckstein come in and please the fans, because that's all it would be, is a one-time crowd pleaser. Right. I think if you're going to a fucking celebrated actress like her, I think it's because you have plans, and I think those plans are a series dedicated to Ahsoka and Sabine, looking for Ezra and Thrawn.
I like that idea, and I agree with you. I think that they don't bring her in for. Then maybe she's only coming in for one episode, but she's going to be the main focus of that episode, or it's going to be a big, huge part of that episode. It won't be just a 5-minute cameo or a couple minutes screen time. Right. What are these? Usually about 55 minutes, between 48 and 55 minutes.
Remember, Mandalorian was a half hour across the board.
Was it?
Every episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It looks like episode 1 is going to be 52 minutes. And there have been a couple statements that say the episode times are going to kind of stick around the same length.
That's what I heard.
So,
I could deal with that.
At the time
I
of this
think 45 minutes would be right at that sweet spot.
I was gonna say, at the time of this recording, like we are only a day away. Like tomorrow when I get home from work, like
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
I can't wait to jump.
And I'm gonna spoil it for y'all.
You're not having to get up in the middle of the night for work.
I mean, I gotta get up in the morning.
I'm waking up early.
Yeah, I might watch it tonight. I don't know.
I know.
Clay wants to know, will there be a name drop of Skywalker or Rebel leaders? I think you're gonna see Rebel leaders. Maybe even a hologram fake of Leia potentially, or Mon Mothma, because we know Mon Mothma's actress is coming back, so there could be an opportunity for a cameo there. But the only thing you might hear of Skywalker is that he's building a Jedi Academy or doing research.
Or General Leia Organa is putting Hosnian Prime, putting the New Republic Council together or whatever. She could we could hear Leia.
by the time this happens, at least in book canon, because those are different.
Sure.
Hosnian Prime has already been established as a key section of the New Republic's command, and as the home world of the New Republic. So they wouldn't even really be considered as rebel leaders at that point.
Well, we see in the trailer, we see X-Wings and stuff, and he's going to have more interaction with the New Republic. So it could be something as simple as General Leia, of the New Republic ordered us to investigate this, and but it could just be his quick little name drop of just General or Mrs. Skywalker, or however they want to say it, or even if it pertains to looking for the wizards, quote that he came from. Maybe you hear of Master Skywalker. Maybe it's just a quick reference to Luke, and you know what I mean. It's just a quick, little drive by.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was gonna say is that at this point, Ben Solo is only 3 years old.
Right.
And so we know that Ben goes to train with Luke when he's about 18, 17.
Little swallow.
So what you're really going to look for at this time period is Luke and Lando maybe doing a lot of Jedi Academy research, like how in The Rise of Skywalker it's mentioned. So that's really going to be the setup there. So I don't particularly think we're going to hear of a Jedi Academy being built yet.
Okay. I'm actually looking at
Brittany J. Taylor says, I speculate Thrawn has a secret kid. Me too. There's someone out there who's the man.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Let's go. I'm there for that.
She hopes Thrawn shows up.
Yes.
That'd be great if they throw up. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I'm actually looking at an article right now. Just got a bunch of theories or predictions what people are thinking is going to happen in season 2, and Luke Skywalker showing up as one of them. But it's going to just be a profile of him. Maybe his X-wing flying by. You see a profile. You actually see him or talk to him. It's just a nod to the character. A nod to the character. And then another one I thought was interesting is a Palpatine appearance. Not necessarily the actor being there, but something to clean up Rise of the Skywalker, where maybe you hear radio transmissions or see a glimpse of one of his proxies building to work on the next stages of his return.
Which is what I think. Which is what I think Moff Gideon really is that he's kind of building a section out in the Outer Rim to kind of help in the final order kind of maintain a little bit of control, because we see that in Aftermath. That's where Ray Sloan goes off into the unknown regions to start up the final order. That was part of Operation Cinder, where they committed mass genocide on worlds. Like Naboo was targeted, of all things, and now Naboo was saved. But there's other cases where that could be a potential, where Moff Gideon is just kind of a chaos bringer into the current New Republic and what it's brought. So that could be a very possible situation, and maybe that's what Sasha Banks is.
Yeah, good point. Well, I've got one here that's really good, actually, and this is actually maybe a good explanation of the Baby Yoda and the child thing. What if Baby Yoda is a girl? And the reason they don't want him called Baby Yoda is because it's not a Yoda. I guess it's Yoda. It's Yoda species, but it's a girl, and they're gonna maybe release the name of the child.
I'm pretty sure Queel in the show called it a him, because whenever he said it's not a genetic strand cast or whatever, so I want to say that they've already put labels on him as a him, but
he could have been wrong, right?
He could change his.
He didn't look under his little baby diaper, did he?
Right. Maybe he's a hermaphrodite, fucking Yoda. We don't know. Maybe he's got both. I don't know.
He could be a Yodita instead of Yodito.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he gets a Yaddle sex change. He goes from Yoda to Yaddle. I don't know.
That was actually what it suggested. Was by the end of it, you'll hear the name be Yaddle, and I was like, I don't know about that, but
yeah.
I think we've got a trip to Ilum. I think that's a big possibility. Maybe see the destruction caused by the Death Star crystals being mined.
Let's go back to the forest moon of Endor and let's see Bright Tree Village again. Come on, man! Little Ewoks and stuff. Let's go. How cute would it be to see Baby Yoda with the little baby Ewok, and just the merchandise sells itself. It'd be a cuteness overload, and people's little hearts would just explode. Just be fucking just all these little cute little things running around.
My heart's
That would be a
exploding
great
thinking about it
idea.
right now. A baby
Right.
Yoda hugging a baby Ewok. Oh,
Right.
Wicket. Wasn't his name? Wicket?
Yep.
Yes.
But yes,
Yes.
Wicket and Yoda. I like it.
So I don't have anything else. I think
I got
some
nothing
rumors
else either.
couldn't
I
happen.
didn't come with anything, so sorry.
I think some rumors could possibly happen, but I also think some rumors that we've had we're gonna see some rumors, some scoopers get proven wrong here.
Oh, yeah.
So this could be a case of Star Wars trying to find the
Like
leak.
Scooby Pants. We know. We know.
I'm gonna spoil the crap out of it for y'all too. As soon as I see it tonight, I'm gonna start tweeting all
That's
kinds of
all
stuff out about it. DMs.
I'm
You
not
know
letting
me,
it on
spoilers
Twitter.
don't bother me.
That's true.
I'm gonna still watch that shit. You can write out a detailed fucking second by second. I'm still watching that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not logging on Twitter until I
You've
have
seen
seen
it?
the episode.
I hear you. I wouldn't do that to you anyway, but I might do it to
I
Nathan
know.
just because I know he didn't like.
I care about spoilers.
Yeah.
Shit.
Nathan, wait till you see this. But
Right.
So and the good
I don't
thing
have
is,
anything else.
well, the good thing is that they're not releasing screeners for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So
nobody's
everybody's
seen
gonna
it.
be
Which also tells me there's a surprise at the end of
Yeah.
episode 1.
well, they're not
Possibility.
releasing screeners for anything this year.
What if it's like baby BDSM? It's like little baby Yoda and it's like leather and whips and chains and stuff. It's 50 Shades of Yoda all of a sudden, 50 Shades
50
of Green
Shades
out there.
of
We're like,
Yoda.
whoa, what the hell's happening?
And on
out
that note,
here?
Nathan, tell people where they might find you on Twitter at some point in
Sunday
your life.
mornings. You can find me Sunday mornings at YouTube talking about the Mandalorian, and as of right now, that's the only place. I'm still holding that handle of Wobbly Boots 85, and I don't know, probably next year sometime I'll be back. But I'm thinking 2020 is just a clean wash, and I don't need to come back. So, but hey,
Keep
on
you posted.
Sundays, find me there on Sunday. Oh, and Friday nights, most Friday nights on Super Soul Servants. But I'm usually in the chat. Full disclosure, like I said, I do this podcast with basically popsicle sticks and band-aids, so I can't report and see in the chat, but these guys read stuff to me and I respond. So
Yep.
it's a good system, which I'm sure everybody hates me for, but whatever, we get it, we work it out.
Well, but Nathan brought up a very good point. Sunday mornings for the next 8 weeks at 10 a.m. EST, 9 a.m. Nathan's time,
9 a.m. my time.
and whatever time the Canadians
Yeah.
is.
For some, I think it's like 4 a.m. Something like that.
Like fucking 4 meters or something, whatever they call it. I don't know. 4 meters with maple syrup or something. I think that's how they tell time. It's like it's four leaves past the maple tree, or I don't fucking know how they do it.
Well, but that's where you can find us talking about all things Mandalorian. So we'll call it our Mandalorian and coffee session.
I like it.
But you will, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you will hear that drop after our outros in a couple minutes.
Sure.
So just stay tuned for future us. I think all three of us are going to be there this
Post-credit
week. So
And we're back. Oh, no. wait, too soon.
So if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, this would be the time to drop off after the outros. We will give a warning before that happens.
If not, jump on YouTube and search out the video. If you just want to have just that section of just the Mandalorian review, just go to YouTube
Sure.
and jump out and just find the episode that way, so you can only listen to our Mando talk. Whatever you would like to do.
So
You
And we'll make sure to plug
you
that
want to hear
in
us
future
talk
episodes.
Mando? It'll be fun.
what?
I said you want to hear us talk
Eeny, meeny, miny,
Mando.
Mando.
Yeah.
Greg, tell us where they can find you in all your podcast glory.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about all the podcasts. Just check me out at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. You can find me there, and I'm just about everywhere. And, this is actually kind of a record week for me, minus World's Finest True Believers. I was on DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, Star Wars Alliance, Superhero Discussions, Super Civil Servants, and Sunday show I was on almost every show on the network this week. So it's been a crazy week for me. Check me out, Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. You can find me on all kinds of stuff there. The BatDaddy52. Hit me up on Twitter, and I'll talk to you. I'm on everything.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing a live show at about midnight tonight for the Panthers post-game show, the C3 Panthers podcast. If y'all want to check that out, so
Oh,
hit us up.
God.
Y'all are still awake.
No
And
wonder
after
you're
that, I'm
going to
gonna
be up
watch
to watch The Mandalorian.
Exactly.
So you can find me on Twitter. My personal Twitter is @KGirlstrap13. The Star Wars Alliance Twitter is just me because Nathan is off Twitter right now. But that is Star Wars Alliance without the A in war. It's very important. Slice of Film, my film review podcast. The next episode will drop next Thursday, or this Thursday, whenever you're listening to it.
Our next hot take episode.
That will be, huh?
I said your next episode of Hot Takes, because that's what Slice of Film should have been called. It's just Katie's Hot Takes.
Katie's Hot
Oh,
Takes.
shit.
Hey, Chris
Wait till
gave
the
me
hot
the
takes.
name, the nickname of the woman without fear. Okay, you know, and
There
that's
you go.
me. I don't care what you think. I'm going to tell you what I think. So,
Wait till the hot takes on BVS. I can't wait to hear those hot takes.
I know
It's gonna be
that's the
great.
next episode that's dropping of Slice of Film.
It's gonna
So,
be great.
if you want to hear my takes on Ben Affleck as Batman, which I am infamous for, stay tuned. Come back next week. So, on that note, either here's your place to drop if you haven't seen The Mandalorian season 2, episode 1. And if you want to continue on, well, then listen to Future Us right now.
All right, turn the live
like
off.